Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk about all major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much, much more. I'm Chris, and today we're going to talk about what is a very important topic, especially for DC fans, Warner Brothers, the future of this entire franchise, and that is The Flash movie. We have a very awesome quote coming from the cinematographer of the film talking about the expectations in the design of the film, where it's going to bring us. We also have a picture of young Barry Allen, young Flash, in his bedroom, and there are some things to dissect there, as well as all of the news and updates we're going to talk about right here today. Possibility of Christian Bale's Batman joining the Flash. Are we going to get a trailer during DC Fandom? What's the timeline? And how will this movie affect the DC universe? Now, we've been talking about this film for quite some time. In fact, about a year or over a year now since the last DC Fandom, when Jim Lee went on extensively about the multiverse, and he even pretty much told us that the Flash movie would be exploring exactly that. Very, very shortly after that panel, we did get the Flash one, and Andy Muschietti, the director, also talked about these exact same ingredients to a very important point, and that is the Flash is going to be changing forever what we know about the DC franchise. So let's talk about all of this news. We'll jump into that quote, the photo, the breakdown, everything you need to know to stay up to date for this film currently going on in these last few days. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a thing as we're posting daily here on the channel. Comment down below, let me know what you think about The Flash, DC, what are your expectations, and let's jump into the video. So there are a lot of specific details going on around right now about The Flash that I want to dive into, I want to talk about, and I think will get anybody who's anticipating this movie or wondering about this movie pretty excited. I want to start with talking about this new image that comes out about young Barry, where we clearly see his bedroom here very well. Now, up to this point, it wasn't confirmed that we would be seeing a young Barry, and we're not exactly sure which Barry Allen or the Flash this is exactly, because we have multiple rumors of more than one Flash being involved in this film, just like we're going to be getting more than one Batman, and it's not a surprise at all, as it definitely is touching upon the importance of the multiverse travel, the quantum abilities of the Flash. So one of the main villains we're hearing is actually going to be a different version of the Flash. Now, this is all rumors and speculation, but up to this point, the big question is this Barry Allen our Barry Allen, a different Barry Allen, and how much will it really matter? The cool thing is we are going to learn more about The Flash in Andy Muschietti's movie than we ever really have been able to on the big screen before. In his previous inclusions in different films, the Snyder Cut, the Justice League, all of these different movies that he's appeared in, we don't ever really learn about him. Even though in the Snyder Cut we did get a better background story for the character, we still didn't learn his origin story, how he came about to be. And yes, I know the Flash is a pretty basic character in the DC universe and DC Comics, and everybody pretty much should know his story by now, but I would say there are a fair amount of fans that don't. And it's always good to get a good origin story. Shang-Chi's coming out in a week, and it is a fantastic origin story for a character. And stuff like that, in my opinion, is important and are very important building blocks in creating an insane franchise. So as we're looking at this picture, there's not a whole lot to really take away from it. This is part of the set. I believe this is going to be the Flash's bedroom as a child. You can see, the space theme, which might be a little bit of a hint into the multiverse exploration, but again, nothing really there. And then on this little cupboard on the right, you can see what appears to be a bunch of little Batman logos on one of these containers, which is just a fun little Easter egg if that's even what those are. But otherwise, it is exciting to see the production and the continuation coming from different set moments. And of course, the confirmation of young Barry, which will be really cool to get those details all the way back from the beginning. Now, this is one I've actually been asked about a few times in different videos and Discord on Twitter, and that is about Christian Bale joining the team for the Flash movie. Now, why would that happen? Why is that even possible? How does that make sense? If you aren't already privy, Michael Keaton's Batman is coming back in this movie. And that is pretty much 99.999% confirmed. Michael Keaton has spoken about it slightly himself, although he stands very sure he doesn't want to give any spoilers. But if he wasn't in the movie, there would be nothing to spoil. So I can pretty much guarantee you we're going to be seeing Michael Keaton's Batman. We're hearing heavily that Ben Affleck's Batman will be making a return for this film as well. And it would make sense if other Batmen were included down the road, like the very, very well-known and famous Christian Bale. Now, this doesn't mean necessarily that he will be coming, but I do believe that they want him. And if they can get schedules to make sense, payment, price, all that good stuff, I could see Christian Bale coming back and making a short cameo and being included in the Flash movie as we're exploring the DC multiverse. Now, unlike the MCU multiverse where they're establishing, hey, things are going to start happening outside the main MCU timeline, the DC universe has been creating different timelines this entire time. The Joker movie takes place in a different universe than the Robert Pattinson Batman universe, than the Christian Bale universe. All of these different universes have been existing outside of each other, and the Flash movie is going to put a ring through all of them and connect them. And that is very important for the future of DC because they are leaving the idea of DCEU main timeline, especially since most people would consider it to have been something of a failure, and they will be opening it up and having the DC universe, which leaves room for any character to interact with any character and any movie to be remade or re-renditioned however DC sees fit. Now, this is either a really clever cash grab or a way to set up something very special moving forward for the DC universe. I'll let you guys decide which one is coming from Warner Brothers. Hopefully, it's the latter and not the former. Now I want to talk to you about this really cool quote coming from the cinematographer Henry Bram, where he talks about the movie being a complex movie, a fantastic concept, and not a comic book movie. Specifically, that's what he says. But the full quote goes on to say, "The Flash is going great. I mean, it's a complex movie and it's a fantastic concept of bringing in the generations of these kind of comic books. Again, it's not really a comic book movie. It's not based in reality, but it's a much more kind of technically complex. I think all the filmmakers are really keen that the technical complexity of the storytelling doesn't get in the way of just good quality filmmaking. Hopefully, I don't think it will ever come across as a superhero movie. It will come across as a movie, and that's what it is. I think that's the way these things need to go. We need to be making great films that happen to have superheroes who have truthful characters behind them, with all the character flaws that we find in humanity." So the lead cinematographer on the entire film is talking about how this shouldn't be a superhero film. And I understand what he's saying. They shouldn't come at this thinking, hey, it's a superhero movie, throw some CGI, some big explosions, some perfect beings who are going to save the day. The same story over and over again. We're out of here, big box office numbers on the way. He's saying that we need to look at these as awesome technical films with a storytelling motive that really should excite fans, and the fact that there are superheroes in it should be irrelevant. And that is an important fact moving forward because, let's be honest, superhero movies have been huge in the last, 8 to 10 years, with all sorts of fan services happening, with Avengers Infinity War, the original Avengers, Iron Man happening, Spider-Man making it his way on the big screen, then you have the Justice League formed, Aquaman, all of these different moments that if we continue to just repeat the same formula over and over again, will definitely become a little mundane, less exciting, and it will lose its flavor. So we do need to try to tackle these films with a different ideology and different expectation, and I think that's what the cinematographer here is trying to explain. However, let's not forget this is going to have multiple Batmans, The Flash, Supergirl, Wonder Woman's been rumored, Baby Barry Allen. It is very much a superhero film, so don't misunderstand his quote either. This is going to be the superhero film for DC. As far as I'm concerned, I think this is going to be the most important film DC is going to put out in a long time, because not only is it going to save the confusing timeline, it's going to set the future tone of DC and set the ambiance and the possibility of future films, collaborations, connections, team-ups. So they really do need to nail this. It sounds like the entire cast, crew, the director, cinematographer, the actors are all taking it very seriously. They're reaching out to some very important actors, and hopefully they will all get on board and we will get a fantastic DC multiverse inclusion. So lots of updates. Hopefully when DC Fandom comes around the corner here, we will be getting our first look, a teaser, maybe some interviews with the actors, the directors, and so on. And that first trailer that we're going to get will really open the door to get people excited to see this film when it does drop. Very hopeful for DC. I hope a lot of you guys are as well. No, it isn't the MCU. It's had its struggles over the years, but there is so much potential here. There is an awesome DC fan base. I've spoken with a lot of you, and let's just get this show on the road for DC. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. This movie is set to come out November 4th, 2022 as it stands. Hopefully that date is met. Can't wait. Let me know what you think. Consider subscribing to the channel. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily uploads right here on Cosmic Culture.